From the Oklahoman Newsroom, this is an OSU update. I'm Jenny Carlson here with Kyle Fredrickson. Kyle, obviously, Cowboys open their season on Thursday night, 6 o'clock at Central Michigan. And I think that begs the question, Central Michigan, a game at Central Michigan. How did the Cowboys get this one on their schedule?
Well, I think it's a fair question considering last year the Cowboys opened up at AT&T Stadium where we're talking about an 80,000 capacity crowd, the biggest stage and really all sports you could make the argument. And now the Cowboys are going to Mount Pleasant, Michigan. Mount Pleasant and the center of Michigan, of that lower glove, about a 2-hour drive from Detroit, only about 30,000 population, and that's about the number of people they can fit in their stadium. So we're talking about really two different worlds from where the Cowboys started last year to this year. But it was interesting in learning about the process of this game specifically and all non-conference games in general. I talked with Associate Athletic Director David Martin. He's been with the athletic department for over 30 years. And really when he plans out a schedule, there's a lot of different factors that go into it, and no two school is the same. In the case of Central Michigan, OSU every year likes to play kind of a middle of the road team from maybe a smaller conference every year. Central Michigan fits that bill. Someone in the athletic department just happened to know someone in the Central Michigan athletic department, and that process got started in about 2011 to schedule these games. So OSU, this is the first of 3 games that they'll play against Central Michigan. They'll play them at Central Michigan this year. They'll get them at home in 2016, and then again at home in 2018. And so it's been kind of fun learning about the contracts that go into these games. For the first 2 games, the visiting team will receive $250,000 for playing in the game, travel, everything that goes into having to travel across the country and play a game. But it was really interesting in that 3rd game when Central Michigan is at home at OSU, they'll actually get $550,000. So a really big payout for them, just in today with TV contracts and all the money that goes into big-time college football. This is just another way that teams make money and another way for the Cowboys to kind of get some preseason games under their belt by playing some of these, I guess, weaker or perceived weaker teams.
Well, and I know a lot has to go into the scheduling. Clearly, you're talking money, you're talking dates, you're talking, quality of opponents, all those sorts of things. And as you mentioned, Central Michigan sort of fits in that, mid-major, solidly in a mid-major conference, solidly one of those, mid-major sort of programs. But Mount Pleasant is a place that I don't think a lot of people know much about. I think we've seen Central Michigan over the years make bowl games and all those sorts of things. But give us an idea of Mount Pleasant, because the Cowboys are going to go there.
Right.
A handful of their fans are going to go there, but most people are just going to be watching on TV. What about Mount Pleasant? What do we know about this place? Well,
even for us as reporters, it was difficult finding lodging close to Mount Pleasant. We actually won't be staying in Mount Pleasant when we go cover the game. But it's just, it's a small community, but at the same time, they love their football. It's another program where they have a head coach that's his alma mater. That's where John Bonamigo went to school, in Mount Pleasant. They have one of the best facilities in the MAC, despite the fact that their stadium only holds about 30,000. Compared to the different schools they're playing against, they've been rated very highly. So, it'll be interesting to see at this time of the year. They've got a new coach who just beat cancer. They should have a very good crowd. It should be a very good environment, I would imagine, for the opener. They've got to be excited playing the caliber of opponent the Cowboys are. But certainly a different world for OSU and a lot of these OSU players, who grew up in Texas and the Oklahoma area, heading up north for their first game this season.
A reminder, Central Michigan did knock off Pitt a year ago.
That's right.
So just something to keep in mind. I think OSU is better than Pitt this year than a year ago, but just something to keep in mind. This is a team that could score an upset at some point along the line. Cowboys don't want to be that team. Be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.